getting in her face, waving his arms in her face, which you know is a form of physical abuse. And they ended up leaving together and everything seemed to be okay. And we've heard some stories that they're very high in Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. I really like them. I think they're a very good tag team. The Usos seem to always be the tag team title holders. And I think it would be nice to go into WrestleMania with a little bit of something different. I expect they'll do some sort of four-way tag team thing like they've been doing at WrestleMania the last couple of years. But I expect Cesaro and Tyson Kidd to win the tag team titles. Rhianna, who do you have?
I'm sorry. Who were Tyson and Cesaro up against?
Well, they are facing the tag team title holders.
I'm sorry. My kid is crying. That's okay.
The Usos.
Right.
Put on the Lucha Dragons. He'll be fine.
Yeah, that's his favorite. He's wearing his Lucha Dragon shirt, actually.
See? Usos versus Cesaro and Kidd.
Don't you think it's about time someone other than the Usos had... I think it would be more fun if Cesaro and Kidd went into WrestleMania as title holders.
I tend to agree. Corey, what are you thinking?
So far during this whole thing, it seems like Kidd and Cesaro have gotten the majority of the victories as opposed to, the one match on Monday, which was a mixed tag, so it wasn't even to do with both guys in the match. So I have a feeling that it's going to stretch out a little longer going into WrestleMania, so I think the Usos retain the tag titles. I expect a great match between the two teams, but I think they hold off on a potential title run for Kidd and Cesaro.
Well, we have some breaking news here. We were just talking about Bad News Barrett constantly losing in non-title matches, so this is a spoiler alert for SmackDown this week. Bad News Barrett versus R-Truth with Dean Ambrose on commentary. Truth rolled up Barrett for the non-title win after Barrett was distracted talking trash to Ambrose, who was ignoring him. So there you have it, my friends. And that takes us to the Intercontinental title.
Intercontinental title, all right.
Bad News Barrett versus Dean Ambrose. And Corey, we'll start with you for this one.
Okay. Well, after that, I think what's going to happen is Ambrose is going to win, but he's going to win by DQ or count out or something like that, and they stretch that to WrestleMania as well, and that's where he'll eventually win the titles at WrestleMania. So you can have one of those big title changes take hands at WrestleMania because it's their first match. There's been, Bad News Barrett didn't even want to have this match. He had to be physically restrained and zip tied to the ring post in order to even agree to this match. So I feel like that's what will happen. Ambrose will come close, and then Barrett will find a way to cheat and get himself disqualified, so he keeps the title. And we go to WrestleMania, and they do it again, or they add somebody else into the match as well. But I don't think Ambrose leaves Fastlane as a Intercontinental Champion. I think they wait until WrestleMania.
Rhianna, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are parallel to Corey's.
Oh,
that's
good.
Almost exactly what I was going to say. That considering Barrett's probably going to retain, Ambrose will come out looking stronger or win, and they'll go on to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I think these two are going to be going to WrestleMania together. I could see them adding a third person to this, and
Heath Slater?
That's fine. No, they need bodies for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Remember, probably to be won by the Big Show. He
eliminated 3 people in last year's, so...
Did he really?
Yeah. Well, 3MB did, but yeah.
Oh, so I don't remember that. So he eliminated... 3MB eliminated 3 people?
Yeah.
Who did they eliminate?
I don't remember. I just remember being really excited that they eliminated people.
Well, that is exciting.
I know it was at least 2. I think it was 3.
Oh, now I gotta check this.
Corey's gonna look that up.
Corey's gonna look.
But let's talk a little bit about Dean Ambrose and how he is trying his best to get over the Intercontinental title and how his vignettes have been tremendous. The vignette he did with the psychiatrist a few weeks ago, and the one he did last week or Monday, last night, where he was reading the news and he had that suit on that was like 6 times too big for him. And And honestly, it looked like Kane's outfit. Like, I think I've seen Kane wear that.
No. That looked freaky. Like, his head was, like, ridiculously small in that suit.
Yeah.
He looked like he was a little kid wearing his dad's suit. It was adorable.
Yeah. We all love Dean Ambrose. We're all rooting for Dean Ambrose. And I never thought Dean Ambrose would be the third guy in the Shield at this point, but that's where he is. Because you have Roman and then you have little Seth Rollins, who, if he's not getting punished for what happened, I mean, he's one of the top heels in the company right now, not named Roman Reigns. But
you remember
No.
I remember months upon months of waiting and waiting. You guys talking about Dean Ambrose. When's Dean Ambrose going to come up?
yeah, that was
sorts of against it.
That was a lot of Corey. Corey was the guy who turned me on to Dean Ambrose first, if you will.
Yep.
I have not steered you wrong yet on a talent. True or false?
I have to think about this. Well, you're a big Baron Corbin fan. I don't think
Yeah.
that's
What's the Spanish? End of days or something like that? Who uses end of days? I know that's a thing. Is that him?
Isn't that what the Ascension does?
Yeah.
I thought that was the fall of man.
They're all the same.
Oh yeah, they all blend in. But seriously, who have I steered you wrong on?
I gotta think about that.
You can't name one.
I gotta think about it, I said.
Yeah, there's nothing to think about because you can't come up with a name.
I'll ponder over
We'll
it.
be here all night.
I'll ponder over it. We'll be at WrestleMania 37.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. You've done very good. I give you a lot of credit. You turned me on to the artist formerly known as El Generico and the artist formerly known as Kevin Steen. And I guess both you guys sort of turned me on to the artist formerly known as Prince Devitt, who I'm an enormous fan of, who everyone seems to be an enormous fan of, including the next leader of the company, Triple H. By the way, did you see that photo of Vince in that magazine? Holy shit.
Yeah, all natural.
Oh my God.
All natural.
It's all muscle milk.
Muscle milk and chicken breast. That's it.
Yeah, that's
all he's doing.
I honestly, if I ate nothing but chicken breasts and eggs and drank muscle milk and got my water intake, would I look dramatically better?
Would you look better?
Yeah, I think I'd have to, right?
If you
I think
exercise,
you have to spend a couple hours in the gym every day.
Yeah,
a couple hours. I don't want to look that good. I just want to look better.
Okay, a couple hours in the gym
up.
every week. How's that?
Because of my medical condition, I have to be careful, but I can do a lot of good walking, and I do my yoga.
Yep.
I love my DDP. I love my DDP yoga. My DDP yoga has helped me tremendously with my issues. As I look at my leg was so swollen when I went into the hospital. This is good radio. My leg was so swollen when I went to the hospital, and now it's much, much better. I'm very content about that.
I still
by the way,
DDP yoga.
I love DDP yoga. By the way, we are only a few short weeks away from me being able to talk more about some things.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
The 3.5 hour Rob Feinstein shoot interview that he's going to do. So what are your memories of this?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. That's what Rob Feinstein does with those kids he picks up.
Oh, that's awful.
He did. I mean, this is not I know he did.
I'm just saying the situation is awful.
It's terrible. And he's still out there.
In a very public eye.
Yeah, absolutely. Rhianna, do you know this thing? Do you know this?
No.
You know who Rob Feinstein is?
The name sounds familiar. Should I?
He does RF video. He helped create Ring of Honor, right?
Yeah, he was a co-owner at one point of Ring of Honor, very early on.
And he runs RF Video, the shoot interview company, but he got busted on To Catch a Predator or one of those type shows.
Really?
But he ended up not doing any jail time. But what had happened, I don't remember. I've heard different stories. I heard that CM Punk was the Ring of Honor champion and said he was going to, if Rob Feinstein didn't sell his portion of the company, he was going to melt the Ring of Honor title into a golf club and then beat him with it. I've also heard some.
That's like a fabrication of.
I've also heard Samoa Joe was the champion and that he was going to throw the title into the Delaware River if they didn't sell. I mean, this is something that can be looked up, but these are the stories that you hear. Anyway,
I don't remember who was the champion, but I think whoever was the champion did threaten to
do something, right?
Yeah, to do something if he didn't leave.
Yeah. That was a good aside. So why don't we talk about the Divas title? and we had to see wonderful Paige stealing Leva Bates' outfit to go out and wrestle. And I really liked this on Raw because Paige really came out and put down the Mean Girls.
She made something really stupid work really well.
Yeah, and
she's that good.
Yeah, that's the ability to take the talent and be able to do something like that. And I think you've seen that with Dean Ambrose and with other people. Is you could take something that could be preposterous, and you could really make it work. I think when I think back to MVP, when MVP first came into the company and he had that original gimmick and the bounce house and everything, that could have been so bad in someone else's hands, but he really made it work and had a pretty nice run in the company. So I
always think of Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes. They're the best at making ridiculous gimmicks work.
Yeah, and he's making it work again. And both of them are, actually.
Both of them are, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though, so Cody Rhodes is dead, but he does Stardust does the Crossroads. What's up with that?
It's taking a little bit from Cody. Stealing his move. They're two different people.
He killed him and stole his moves.
And his wife?
He's trying to.
Oh, you can't blame him. Okay. So Nikki Bella's your Divas title holder, taking on Paige. We have not seen AJ in a long time, leading the speculation that she's pregnant again. But I have a feeling for the Total Divas ratings, we're going to get Nikki versus Brie at WrestleMania. So I think something happens and they have a falling out, and I think that's how Paige is able to get the win. And we do some sort of big Divas title thing at WrestleMania when AJ returns. That's what I'm predicting. Rihanna, what do you think?
Are they going to explain why the Bellas are back together again ever?
Kayfabe.
Okay. Are the Bellas the heels or is Paige? Because I thought Paige was a heel, and then the Bellas were faces.
Well, I think Paige is definitely the face right now.
They swapped like last month.
Did they? Okay. I never keep it straight. The whole Mean Girls thing, they do that whether they are faces or heels, so I couldn't...
Well, remember, there are no faces and heels.
Right.
There are no faces and heels. There are just people who are a little more heelish than others.
Right.
There are faces and heels, and they are very clearly defined, and we'll talk about that when we get to the United States Championship.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
yes,
my.
But we know who the face is in this match. We absolutely know who the face is in that.
Well, we'll save it. We'll wait. We'll wait till then.
Okay.
What's next? I mean, you're priming the pump for something that's going to happen in like 60 seconds here, Rick Shaw.
Listen. There's a high potential for tangents on this show, and you know that.
No. By the way, remember, you're doing a talk-up like Rick Shaw. Remember Rick Shaw?
Here we go. There he goes.
Nope.
You don't? No, come on. Josh, you know Rick Shaw.
Has everybody made their prediction for this Divas Championship?
No, we haven't even gotten one prediction yet because somebody over here can't keep it on track.
I want
Josh to talk about Rick Shaw.
I know Josh knows who I'm talking.
He knows who he is. He's just trying not to get into this conversation.
Rich has a very, very famous, well-known disc jockey in Miami. He used to wear like a sailor's cap on his head. So.
Yeah, he sounds like he's really well-known.
He's well-known in South Florida. We did that whole thing about the Dollar Theater and the newsstand.
And everybody knew what you were talking about.
Everyone. The newsstand on University Drive, Pembroke Pines. Norman Smiley lives in Pembroke Pines, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Because he was on Raw last night?
He was on Raw. A genuinely nice man. He got his GED at my dad's school. A genuinely good guy. I love when you get some sort of wrestling connection that has nothing to do with anything. I love that. I really do. It's one of those, like, you're a wrestling fan and then something not wrestling related happens and it has a wrestling connection. I always like that. I pop for that hard. Right? Who's with me?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What, like this thing, like Norman Smiley just happened to go to my dad's school and get his thing. Like one of my dad's former colleagues who was a football coach knew George Steele because George Steele was a football coach in Michigan. And it's nice to have, in fact, George Steele ended up getting us tickets to the very first WWF show I ever went to. It wasn't the Rumble at the Miami Arena, but it was one of those long tapings they used to do for hours. They did like 3 Brother Love segments in this whole night, and we were sitting like on the ramps